So, William, tell me that story about when you were walking at the Newport Back Bay
Oh,
with your girlfriend.
so I was walking the Newport Back Bay with my girlfriend, and she was actually pointing across the water, and I was like, "Whoa, looks like there's a landslide at the bluffs over there." I really wasn't aware that they had soils problems over there, and it looks like they're actually rebuilding the entire home.
Wow. Wow. So is this it right here?
Yeah, this is it.
Let me see this sucker. It looks like they had a pretty significant slippage there. Where's the house? Did they just totally demolish the house? I mean,
They just totally demolished the house.
that's not the house at the bottom of the hill, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So, do you know, I mean, you don't know anything further about this. I mean, what do you do? You can build a retaining wall and like fill it back in or what? I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty curious what they're gonna do myself.
yeah, you know what? Keep an eye on this as you're doing your walks over there, and maybe take some progress photos. I'd like to see what's going on.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm sure the insurance company had a field day with that one. So
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, yeah, they had definitely had to pay out.
all right, well, moving on to the next photo. We're just gonna talk quite a bit about roofs here today.
Okay, a
Starting
little
with,
bit, quite a bit, a lot.
yeah, a lot of bit of doodle. So here's
Well, that looks like a great job. They just nailed the hell out of it.
yeah, and that flashing's for sure not gonna start lifting anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. Man, they not only nailed the flashing down. That's called a boot flashing, right?
Yes.
They nailed the shingles down too. All right. Didn't bother to paint the plumbing vent or to seal the plumbing vent or the boot flashing with an apron flashing.
No.
But all right. That's fun.
Yeah, punctured a lot of holes in the roofing membrane. That's for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if this vent is leaking. So
Yeah.
So here's some more flashings that are done.
There's another boot flashing. So that one they just didn't even tuck it under the shingles at all. Put some sealant on it.
And then the other one, it's there. So it's good, I guess.
Yeah, so both of these, I mean, what's the point?
Just laying directly right on top of the roofing material. And wouldn't be surprised if these leak either.
Well, it looks like the roofing material is beyond its estimated service life and they need to replace the roof. So,
What makes you say that?
well, what do you mean?
I know, but I just want to hear you say it.
Well, I mean, you can barely see any granules left on the shingles.
Yep.
I mean,
That's one thing we look for. Okay. Now, the same house. This is about a 100-year-old house. I was in the attic, and I noticed when I got into the attic framing, it's been painted.
it looks really nice up there, doesn't it?
It's pretty aesthetically pleasing, but I don't think they're going in the attic. I was really wondering why they would paint the attic framing.
Got up in the attic and it's like, oh, it's kind of nice up here. Everything looks clean.
Do you want to speak a little bit more on that?
I mean, attics aren't painted.
Typically, no.
No, painting an attic has some pluses and it has some minuses. Really, this isn't just supposed to be a regular paint. This is a smoke damage sealer. It's a treatment to help seal the wood that's been charred or there's been smoke all over it, and it's to essentially treat the wood.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you attics, especially these, if you look, those look like 2x4s, and they're probably on 2.5 feet. I would say 20, maybe a 30-inch span.
Yeah,
I'd say it's a 26-inch or a 30-inch span. Current standards today is probably about half that.
Yep.
And so structurally, it's not as strong, and it's not going to hold the same strength. It doesn't have the same strength to hold the roof up as newer construction does. So what you really want to take into consideration here is they've sprayed a bunch of paint on it. Have you ever picked up a 5-gallon can of paint?
It's pretty heavy.
Or a 1-gallon can of paint?
Yeah, it's pretty
Right?
heavy.
Well, imagine all that weight now being on your roof with the added weight of the roof material itself. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, it's good to note that you don't want to miss the fact that it looks like there's evidence of a past fire.
Definitely. I would agree with you on that 100%.
Did you see any charred wood in there at all? I mean,
I did not.
Isn't that weird? How
I
you can
did
go up there
not.
and it's all painted. You know, there's been a past fire and you can't
Yeah.
even tell.
And right here, you can see there's some of the exposed wood, but I think that was some termite damage. Not sure, not a termite inspector. Um, but when I was in the garage, it was a detached garage. There was charred wood in the detached
You
garage.
did. You saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know there was a fire.
Yep. All right. Sticking to attics.
What's surprising to me is when you inspect homes that are like 120 years old, over 100 years old, why we don't see more treated wood, because fires for many, many years up until recent years were pretty commonplace,
Yeah.
from electrical fires and
Well, it's not too
kitchen
uncommon
fires.
for me to see it. Maybe I just have more luck than you did.
Well, maybe you're doing older stuff.
So this is
So that's what
another
an attic is.
100-year-old house,
That's what an attic is supposed to look like when you look at the wood, right?
more or less.
Okay.
So when I was up in here, first thing whenever I get into an attic, I'm looking at the rafter sizing, the ceiling joist sizing, the sheathing, the materials used essentially. And as soon as instantly when I looked at the rafters here, I mean, it's pretty obvious. You can see they're overhanging the ridge board.
Right. They're overhanging the ridge board. And like we talked about on the last slide about the painted sheathing and rafters, that was pretty close to probably 30 inches on center. Well, look at how wide these are. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be scared to even walk on that roof. I mean, man, the pitch is really steep, which, you don't need as much strength to hold it up. But still, I mean, man, that looks like they're 4 feet apart.
Yep. And not to mention that ridge board is also undersized. That's why the rafters are overhanging.
Yep.
I know the code has a minimum of a 1x4 for the ridge board.
Right.
But nowadays in today's standards, we like to see it a little bit bigger than that.
Well, I mean, it depends really all on the size of the rafters. The ridge board should not be smaller than the rafters.
Correct.
Just period.
Correct. And then if you could see here, I'll blow it up a little bit on the next photo. The roofing material, they had a 3-tab shingle installed over the wood shingles from the previous roof.
So asphalt comp shingles are overlaying the old wood shingles.
Correct.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, I know in the winter when it gets really cold at night and it starts to heat up in the morning, these shingles can actually start to condensate.
Well, and what's also kind of interesting is wood expands and contracts differently than asphalt.
That it's a lot of weight on the roof too.
Yep. No vapor barrier, no felt paper, no wrap, nothing. That's why you see all the water staining.
Yeah, they actually have the older space sheathing at the underside too. So
how was the roof performing? I mean, was any evidence of leakage anywhere or anything?
no, but structurally there was some pretty significant sagging to the roof, and I'm not really too surprised with the undersized ridge board.
Right. The framing's really light.
Yeah, framing's really light, and on top of that, you have a ton of weight.
Yep. Which is how they did it, back in the 20s and the 30s. So.
Yep. So this is actually the same attic. Pretty concerning because this fireplace hasn't been shut down.
The fireplace is operational.
I wouldn't say so. So
did you red tag it? I mean,
I should get some red tags.
You should on that. You should red tag the heck out of that sucker.
So this is actually a masonry unit.
Really?
And I'm not sure where the metal pipe came from.
Okay.
But if you really got down into this cavity, you could see where the old masonry bricks are, where they just broke it off, took it out, and they just stuck a metal pipe into it, and it terminates directly into the attic.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Just job security, all the more reason why you should have a home inspector come and assess your home.
Yeah. I mean, this is a serious safety issue right here.
Yeah.
Probably why they have a bunch of char in the.
I mean, this could burn the whole house down. People could die.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a scary condition. So
Yeah.
I hope you told somebody
I did.
that you cannot use the fireplace. You need to get a chimney specialist out here or some company to figure out what needs to be done to make this fireplace and chimney work or remove it.
Shout out Jeremy Gaucher. I was pretty happy to He was there on this one doing the
Oh, he
changes.
was.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did he tell you about it first, or did you tell him?
I got in there first.
Okay. Okay.
He showed up a little bit later. So.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yep. All right. So when I was up in the attic, next thing I do after I'm looking at all the framing and components is I'm looking at the ventilation and all the mechanical features up in the attic.
Right.
Looking for open junction boxes, and this was a bathroom fan, and you could see at the very rear over here, there's no vent.
Yeah. So the vent is not there. The fan's there. Did the fan work?
Fan works.
So moisture's just exhausting right into the attic.
Correct.
Okay, that's not good. Yeah, not good at all. It looks like there's a vent for it to connect to coming through the
Yep.
the roofing material.
Over here at the
Yep, that square box.
top right.
Probably just connect it to that, and you'd be good to go.
Shouldn't be too hard of a fix.
Nope.
I mean, a homeowner probably could do it.
Yep.
Okay.
What else you got for us, William?
So now I'm in the crawl space.
Oh, I love these photos. These are my favorite. I love it. I love catching these kinds of things. Obviously, the person buying the house doesn't like it. But as a home inspector, we really like being able to catch things that are like this.
Yes, definitely. And so for those of you with the untrained eye, we're looking at a notched girder or beam, which is a load-bearing support member for the flooring.
Right.
And essentially what the white pipe is at the underside. So we got a little bit of a double whammy here.
Yep.
We got a transite vent pipe, which is a white concrete type material, which is known to contain asbestos.
Right.
And we have a notched beam.
On the bottom side.
Now those, whenever you have a vent pipe like this, it's usually to an exhaust a older floor furnace.
Right.
That's definitely beyond its estimated service life, but it has to maintain a certain slope when going through the crawl space. You can't go downhill. It can't be too flat. It has to have an upward slope. And to maintain that upward slope, instead of maybe going through the wall or the roof, they decided it'd just be easier to,
Notch the beam.
notch the beam. And it's very common.
It shouldn't be in contact with the beam either, and it looks
No.
like it might be even touching it. So
Well, I mean, it's a very good those pipes, they don't get too hot.
they don't, but it's still considered a single wall vent pipe, and this pipe should actually have 6 inches of clearance.
Correct.
I mean, as long as it's not touching, I think we're good. But it looks like it's touching.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it as far as I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we transitioned over a little bit to the attics, but you want to talk about the roof we were just in today?
Yeah, let's talk about that roof we got up onto today. This was a commercial inspection in the city of El Monte, California, and it's a flat roof with a parapet wall. It's a modified bitumen asphalt composition rolled material, which has an estimated service life of, I don't know, we're seeing that stuff last 15 to 20 years now.
Yeah.
It used to have an estimated service life of 10 to 13. But we're seeing it last a pretty long time now, even in their desert environment here. But this particular one, what they did is they put a sealer over the top of it to extend the service life. Those sealers will typically extend the service life an extra couple of years. But what else do we see going on here, William?
Well, we see a combination of things, such as what's obvious is that the evidence of inadequate drainage, essentially all the staining and valleys in the roof that
Gosh,
are.
I mean, water probably when it rains just sits up there.
Oh, of course. And then we're seeing some blistering,
all over.
all over, and they did some temporary repairs as well, where
They just patched.
it.
Yep.
The patches are deteriorating, and
Yep.
there's holes in the roof.
This roof, let's say it's ready.
Yeah.
It's time.
Personally, I'm going to recommend replacement on it.
Yep. Okay.
It's at the end of its life.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say about that roof?
Nope. Just, I mean, man, they really got their money's worth.
I would say so as well. I'm surprised. Usually when we do these inspections, there's a lot more water staining than what we saw.
Yeah, it wasn't actually leaking too bad inside.
Yeah.
But they've done a lot of work to the attic. So, I mean,
Definitely.
there is evidence that it's currently leaking.
Yeah.
Just not much.
Okay. I think this was your favorite thing to see today.
Yes, that was actually. I was very like, oh. I don't normally comment on power lines and telephone poles and things like that because that's owned by the utility. However, this particular one was leaning right towards the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
When you were standing there taking a picture, it didn't look like it was leaning as bad as it is. It did it.
No, it did.
It did it. It did it.
Well, I purposely lined my phone up with the parapet wall here,
Okay, so you could tell
so you can tell it's probably leaning at
5%, 10%.
10%. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, and I mean, stuff's pulling on it, and so I went over there and looked at that pole. It's an old pole.
Yeah.
I would think that pole's probably been there for 50 years, at least. At
Wow.
least it's an old pole.
Yep. I would agree with you on that. Okay. Now segueing back into our crawl space.
Oh, we're going back under. Okay. Oh, okay. Talk to us. What are we looking at here, William? I mean, most people have no idea what's going on here, but this is
Well,
an
really,
interesting.
I'm really glad to see you can see the material here. So this is a copper water supply piping in a crawl space. And
Does not look like copper, William.
It does not. That's why I have it in the picture here at the front, at the left side. But this copper is black.
Okay, and copper does not come black in color.
It does not.
Okay.
And it's not dirty, I can tell you that.
Okay.
It's not dirty. There's no dirt or mud on this. This is being caused by a chemical reaction.
Okay. Talk to me about that. What kind of chemical reactions can cause copper to turn black?
So, copper to galvanized contact can cause it to turn black, but another more concerning cause of it turning black could be either sulfur levels in the air,
Okay.
or even sewer gases can.
So sewer gases, I mean, that methane, right?
Yeah.
And sulfur.
Yeah.
So did you smell anything like rotten eggs under this thing?
No, I did not.
You did not.
Nope.
And so did you see any other condition that could cause that?
Under this house, I did not.
So it's interesting, I mean, but something's going on there.
Yeah, whenever I see it turning black, I look everywhere for the galvanized connection. And then if I don't see it, it's either in the walls or something in the air.
It could be sulfur that it comes up and sometimes and doesn't always get, off gas into the crawl space. I mean, or it could be, sewer pipe that's no longer, emitting gases.
Correct.
But that's definitely something that you would need to recommend a plumber to come out and take an evaluation.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay. Now a little bit into the plumbing equipment.
So this is pool equipment.
Pool equipment.
Okay, so pool equipment is getting more sophisticated year after year after year. We're getting better stuff. And this one has what do you want to call that?
A chlorine generator.
A chlorine generator.
I call them chlorinators for short.
Chlorinators? Okay. Okay. So so essentially what these do is rather than you have to put chlorine in, it automatically infuses chlorine into the water.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So now whenever you have these chlorine generators, first thing I look for is a check valve.
Okay. And what does the check valve do?
It prevents any water backflowing.
So you don't want water backing up into the generator and just causing a mess, right?
You don't want water going through the pool heater, through the chlorinator, and backwashing into the pool heater.
Right.
Because chlorinated water is going to corrode the pool heater and it's not going to last nearly as long.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that we keep the chlorine where it's supposed to be.
Yep. And this one did not have the check valve. I know you got a pipe over the top of it, but I guarantee you it's not there.
Okay. Okay. And then I'm also looking here at this photo. I mean, I couldn't help but as my eyes just go right to it. It looks like there's leaks everywhere.
Yep. Yep. And this was like a rebuild.
It looks like new, nice equipment. I mean, it looks like a multi-speed motor there on the pump. I mean, you can't see the motor, but I mean, that's a nice pump. Looks like a nice furnace. You got the chlorinator. All this equipment looks fairly new.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff leaks. It's a lot of water going through here, a lot of seals. Not surprised.
Yeah. Same pool.
All right, so
So this is
that's a pool.
yes, this is a pool
Okay.
with a water fountain at top,
Okay.
and I'm seeing evidence of leaking coming out the side of it.
So the water is just like coming. So, so you know what? You know what? My knee-jerk reaction here is you see that stone veneer?
Yeah.
I'm suspecting that wall there, where the waterfall is coming down, is probably a CMU wall, a concrete masonry unit wall that maybe, or cinder block, that maybe that they just put a sealer on and then they put the stone veneer on top of that. And that's probably a concrete wall in front. And those two are probably not, it's not one unit. And so water's getting through there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wish I could have gotten up and in there and figured out the problem, but
Was there any efflorescence coming?
Yeah,
off the
you
side
can
of
see
it?
the efflorescence. You can
Yes.
see like it looks like even the rebar, some of the iron, the rust is coming through over there from behind the stone veneer.
yep.
So if there's rebar, I mean, yeah. And so this just looks like it wasn't built properly.
Correct. I would agree.
All right. So we gonna
I guess two
go
more things I want to mention.
two more? Okay.
Um,
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk
this
about
is something I see almost every day.
Not all inspectors inspect for this.
They don't notice.
Yeah.
Because we turn on the hot water works.
We're good.
We're good.
But you leave it on for a minute and let it really heat up, and this is what you're getting: 138 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yep.
So
Sometimes I see like 150 and 160.
you see 150s and 160s. So what is considered to be a safe temperature for hot water at a faucet or fixture?
I give it about 120 degrees.
120, 125.
Yep.
You don't want to be too much hotter than that.
Nope.
That's a bit high there. That can injure somebody or cause a burn.
Especially a child or an elderly person who's a little bit more sensitive.
People have a little more sensitive skin.
Yeah.
Yep, that's an unsafe condition.
And the last thing I have for you here is something that's new. It's became mandatory on all homes in 2020, and that is this guy right here.
So tell me what this is, William. This is, I know we're looking at a main electrical panel. That's the service disconnect. It's imprinted right there. But we have this thing that looks like a breaker, but there's no levers on it. So it just says off. There's a little white button right in the middle. What is this thing? And what is the new code? So you said 2020.
2020, they required surge protection to be installed on all homes. And what we're looking at here is a whole house surge protection device.
A whole house surge protector on the main electrical panel.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Now these are great. I'm surprised they're just starting to require these because I know we don't get too many surges from like lightning strikes and stuff like that.
Not here in SoCal.
But we get windy days.
But you got to talk about people all over the United States and all over the world.
Yeah.
Well, I know this code's in the U.S., but there's surges in probably most jurisdictions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are great. I don't know why we're not seeing more of them on the newer panels. They've been required for, 3 years now. So
I've probably done 300 inspections this year, and this is probably only the second or third one I've seen.
really,
Yeah.
wow, okay. Yep, surge protectors, they're great.
Yeah.
They're expensive though.
I don't think they're too expensive.
That's
but-
probably, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks.
yeah,
So,
give or take. But yeah, well, that's all I have here for you today.
all right. Well, hey, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, and we'll see you on the next one.